The purpose of this section is to show the power of the 35-page key that you download for free at home. I will roll the dice and work out the problem that occurs. We will use the whiteboard and do it one step at a time. We will choose the common denominator, make the equivalent fractions, copy the common denominator, add the numerators, and process the answer if necessary. This problem will have one issue only, that of changing the improper form to a mixed number. Now that I've done that, I was going to roll the dice one more time and get a problem. And so here we go. And that came out to be a half plus 7/12. Okay, so go ahead and do a half plus 7/12. Now before I actually don't show it yet. Don't show it yet. I wanted to show how the system works. And so we're going to take a half plus 7/12. And I'll lead the class through the lesson. This is what type of fraction? A, B, or C? B style. Okay, because 2 goes into 12. And then we're going to write a 12 in both places. Now, what number goes here?
7.
Good. And that's important to ask because sometimes students will expect a different number to go there. However, I always remind them, if this number did not change, this number won't either. Now I'll ask what number goes here? 6. Okay, now sometimes I don't get that correct answer so quickly. And so this is where I would remind the student that you look at the relationship between the denominators. How many times does 2 go into 12? 6. And so that becomes a multiplier. 2 times 6 makes 12. 1 times 6 makes 6. And so what commonly happens is sometimes when a parent is working with a child, teaching them the skill, they'll ask them how many times 2 times what makes 12, and they won't know. And so that means that that parent then not only has to teach their child fractions, but also has to go back and do a review of the times table, which is not a bad thing. And it's good for parents to know exactly where the children are in their math progression. And so 2 times 6 makes 12, 1 times 6 makes 6, so I'll put a 6 here. And then, what number goes here? 12. And so that's an easy question, but sometimes students still want to put the wrong answer there, like 24, because they don't know that when you're adding fractions that have a common numerator, you simply copy the denominator. I meant to say when you're adding fractions that don't have a common denominator, that do have a common denominator, then you just simply add the fractions as you see. And so now I'm going to put what number here? 13. And then I get to use the vocabulary word, what kind of fraction is this? Improper. It's an improper form because the large fraction's on top and the small fraction's on the bottom. And so I have to take that 13/12 and I have to change it to its mixed number. 13 goes into 12 one time with 1 left over. And so there's your 1 and 1/12. There's your 1 and 1/12. And then when you go to the right part of the book, this has already been done for us, thank you, that we had the 1/2 and the 7/12. 1/2 turned into 6/12, just like I said it would. The 7/12 remained 7/12. The 12 copied, the 6 and 7 made 13, and then 13 over 12 was changed into the 1 and 1/12. And so with a system like this, it is absolutely impossible not to learn the skill. The student can only learn the skill because they roll the dice, they get the randomness of the problems, and then every single time they roll the dice, they check their work, and that gives them their answer. And if they happen to make any mistake anywhere along the way, when they look at the key, they'll notice it, fix it on their own, and then go on to the next problem until they learn the skill. So, would you like to buy a set today? Do you see now how powerful this teaching system is? You will be able to turn to the precise problem that the student just worked out, and that student will be able to look at the answer themselves and find their own mistakes and fix them.